The Mars Late Model Series put on an absolutely wild show at Peoria tonight. Just absolutely crazy. I mean, there were numerous wrecks. We had just wild things happening at the front of the field. 8 laps to go. Two of your top three are having flat tires, having to go and fix their tires. Jason Fager and Dennis Erb Jr. And then Brian Shirley, with 5 laps to go, has a mechanical failure in the lead. Just absolutely wild stuff happening. But it was a fun, exciting race. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. With all of the craziness that happened, Ryan Unzicker was the one who prevailed. He methodically worked his way through the field and was working on catching up to Brian Shirley. I don't know if he had anything for Shirley. Shirley basically led from the green flag until he had that mechanical issue with 5 laps to go, but Unzicker was kind of closing in on him, had gotten around Dennis Erb Jr., and was trying to close in on him in those final laps, but he was able to win out. I mean, so many issues happened throughout this race, but Unzicker was able to keep his car clean, got through it all, and claimed the checkered flag. So let's get through this here. 38. It was a 40-lap feature with 38 laps to go. We have a huge wreck that basically turns into a log jam, a parking lot. It's looking like 95 during rush hour outside of Washington, D.C., where I live. And we had Colby Shepard here in this blue number 27 car. You can see him. He's right on the outside here of Dennis Erb Jr. He just completely loses it going into turn 4 here and goes sideways across the track and collects pretty much everyone behind him. I think he's running in third, fourth right at this point in the race. Collects Jason Fager and a bunch of people. Let's take a look here. See, just spins it there. Fager's nowhere to go, and they just stack up. It's a parking lot here. There, and nowhere for a lot of these guys to go. Just took a little bit for them to clean that up, but they would eventually get it cleaned up. Fager would have to make some repairs. He would go to the rear of the field, obviously coming to a stop there, being involved in that accident. We would then have a Frank Heckensatt Jr. spin just a lap later when they finally went green. And then we would have another kind of big wreck right here. I want to focus in on this white number 30 car. It's hard to tell that he's a white car because you're just looking at the rear of him here, but he is at the bottom of the screen right here, just about to go into, I guess he's already going into turn 1 here. I think he hits one of these big white tires here, and that bounces him up the track and creates a very similar effect to what we saw with Colby Shepard here. Let's take a look at this. See it right there. They're already kind of stacking up. Let's take a look at it. Let's back it up again. Right there. I think he hits the second tire. I'm going to see if I can pause it here. Right there. You can see him kind of hit the tire. He shoots up the track and collects a bunch of people behind him. Duty's able to get around it looks like, because he slips through on the inside there in that 15 car. But you can see everyone else kind of piling up, getting stuck behind him there. But he would be done for the night. That was Voigt. And that was with 37 laps to go. So you can see a lot of wrecks happening at the very beginning of this race. Looking at my notes here, we did have some really good racing with Fager here, who's working his way through the field. I guess that caution kind of helped him out. Was able to work his way through, and you can see here, this is about 6 laps in. They finally had some green lap racing. He's threading the needle here. This is just some really good racing, I thought. Middle of the race here, I guess quarter of the way through the race, splitting it there. Fager in that green and black number 25 car. Just some really good dirt late model racing that we'd love to see here. Moving on the inside here after splitting the needle. Just really solid, good racing right there from Jason Fager. Love to see that stuff. And then with 26 laps to go, we would have another wreck with Daniel Adams and Colby Shepard. I don't know what happened there. I don't think we really got a replay of that. But this was, and then 16 laps to go, we would have Wallace would spin out. So we get a caution there. They'd have a green flag for about 10 laps there. But then this was probably the best race of the night from lap 14 to lap 8. We saw a really good battle between Dennis Erb Jr. here and Ryan Unzicker, and they were, I think, racing for second place. Like I said, Unzicker kind of worked his way through the field. I think he started around 14th or so and just methodically picked cars off through the field here. And the last quarter of the race here, he was really working on Dennis Erb Jr. Really good side-by-side action here. Let's take a look. I mean, Dennis Erb Jr. on the bottom, Unzicker rolling the top there. Dennis Erb Jr. holding him off at the line. Unzicker sticking to the top, gets a huge run off the top of turn 2. Is able to pull away from Erb, but Erb says not so fast. Gets a really good run down into 3 and 4. Comes away. They're side by side at the stretch, but Unzicker gets him. I mean, this was really, really good racing here, side by side. Both guys digging really hard. This is what you love to see with dirt late model stuff here. And they did this for like 4 or 5 laps. Like I said, from lap 14 to lap 8, when we would finally have a caution with lap 8. The caution came out because Bob Gardner was kind of just sitting here at the exit of turn 2. But while he was sitting there, we saw both Jason Fager and Dennis Erb Jr. go into the hot pit there off the track with flat right rear tires. I know for sure Dennis Erb Jr. had a flat right rear tire. Not sure what exactly happened with Jason Fager. I do think they said he had a flat tire. I'm not sure which one it was, but he would have to go in to the hot pit there, and they would obviously have to go back to the rear of the field, and they would never recover from that. And then we would finally have a green flag run here with like 8 to go, but then with 5 to go here, Brian Shirley, who was your leader, just comes up lame, and they would report that he had a lower forearm bar break, and that would end his bid to win the race. I don't think anyone really had anything for him. If he didn't have that malfunction, that mechanical failure, I think he wins the race. But Ryan Unzicker would be the beneficiary of that. He would take home the win. Like I said, this was a fantastic race. It had so much drama, so much stuff was happening. You had the big wreck at the beginning. You had another big wreck a couple laps later. Then you had some really good fun racing there with Jason Fager trying to march back through the field after he had to go to the rear after being involved in that wreck. Fortunately, probably didn't have to go that far back because there's a bunch of other people involved in the wreck too. So that probably saved him a ton of track position there. And then obviously there was another wreck with Daniel Adams and Colby Shepard, and they were running, I think, top 10. And then great racing between Dennis Erb Jr. and Ryan Unzicker. I mean, that was really good stuff. That's what we love to see. That is why dirt late model racing, I think, is the best. That side by side, 4, 5, 6 laps. They're really both putting it together, trying to dig, finding different lanes. Love to see that. That stuff is just great. And then crazy just drama happening. The flat tires with Fager and Dennis Erb Jr. with 8 to go, and then Brian Shirley having just heartbreak with that mechanical failure, that lower forearm bar breaking, and then obviously triumph and victory with Ryan Unzicker. Here is the lineup here, the rundown. Ryan Unzicker, obviously, I mean, you can see he moved up 11 spots, methodical, picking his way through the field. Took home the checkered flag. Tommy Shepard in the T6 also moved up 6 spots, finished in 2nd. Jake Little moved up 2, finishing in 3rd. Justin Duty moved up 12 spots for a 4th place finish. You can see his car was wild. Like the left side, the inside of the car was nice and clean. The right side had been mangled. Couldn't even tell whose car it was because the wrap had been so mangled up. Beating and banging out there. Alan Weiss, I'm not sure how to say this guy's name. Weisser, he moved up 4 spots, finished in 5th. Frank Heckenstadt Jr. recovered, moved up 15 spots. I think he was your hard charger. Again, he was involved in a spin early on in the race with 37 laps to go. Recovered for a 6th place finish. Hard charger moving up 15 spots. Mike Spatola finished 7th, moving up 8 spots. Mitch McGrath moved up 12 spots, finishing in 8th. Rich Bell, 9th, moving up 2 spots. Austin Howes moved up 8 spots, finishing in 10th. Again, a lot of these people were able to move up so much because you had a lot of problems for a lot of your front runners being involved in accidents or having issues with tires. Kyle Blight finishing 11th, moving up 2. Jason Fager dropped back 6 spots, had to finish in 12th after that flat tire with 8 to go. Bob Gardner, who also had an issue with 8 to go, he dropped back 12 spots, finished in 13th. Ross Adams finished in 14th, up 9 spots. Brian Shirley finished in 15th, fell back 13 spots, had that mechanical issue. It looks like they said Dennis Earp Jr. had a flat tire, but it looks like it might have been more than a flat tire given the fact that he finished behind Brian Shirley, who they towed his car off the track. So I assume I assume Dennis Earp Jr. parked his car as well. He finished in 16th. Brayton Wallace in 17th. He spun with 16 to go, and I think they towed him off too with a mechanical issue. Robin Huffman, I think that's how you say that. I think that's how I'm reading that right. Finished in 18th. McKay Wenger, McKay Wagner finished in 19th. Colby Shepard in 20th. Daniel Adams in 21st. Mark Voigt in 22nd. And then Jeffrey Ledford rounded out the field in 23rd. So that is how it ended there for the Mars late model. Great race. It was exciting. Just again, so much drama, so much happening. It was a very, very wild race, and glad I tuned in and watched it. But let me know what you guys make of this race. Let me know in the comments below.